welcome to Intuitive Insights. This is the podcast where we explore practical intuition, inspiring conversations, and intuitive tools to help you find your magic. I am your no BS woo-woo coach, Megan McDonough. Today's episode, I'm going to take it a little old school. So when I first started doing intuitive readings, when I first started down this road in this way, I was getting a lot of visuals when I was doing readings. And initially with those visuals, they were what I call like spiritual messages. For those of you who are new to intuition or developing it, working on your development of it, it's rare that an intuitive message or a spirit message or whatever you want to call it, psychic message, whatever you want to call it, comes straight directly at you. There's always some interpretation involved. The most direct I would say would be words. Like if I hear a phrase or a word, that might be the most direct. But even then there's, the words are chosen in a way that you can unpack them, right? So, I was getting a lot of visuals, and the visuals were like these little spiritual messages. And I grew up drawing. It was my favorite thing to do. And I'd gotten away from it as I got older. And when I started getting all these images, I just felt like they were so clear in my head. I felt compelled to put them on paper, like quickly sketch these images on paper, because the visual representation I felt really communicated a lot. So initially when I started Magnetize Your Light, which is my coaching company that I started, that this podcast is a part of, I saw these beautiful pictures with such meaning, and they were in vivid colors. And I like to paint. I'm not a massive painter, but I like to paint and I love to draw and I just love to create. So I felt pulled to put these spiritual sketches on paper, and then I wanted to decorate them and show the person who I read for, who I got this message for, what I saw. But then I stopped and I was like, yeah, but that's me. This isn't my message. It's their message. So when I started sketching out the pictures, the drawings, the spiritual sketches, I made them like coloring pages, which is not really my forte. But I felt that since this was their message, they needed to put their own energy into it to really extract the essence of it. So now when I do readings, everyone gets a personalized workbook that coincides with the reading, so you can work on the messages that are coming through so that the reading becomes transformational and not just to feed your ego or whatever it is. To quell your fear, whatever, reason that you come to seeking an energetic, spiritual, intuitive reading. So that's why I wanted to do it. I wanted to make more practical, make it more applicable, make it more useful, the message, the reading. And allowing yourself to color seems like honestly, if you told me we're going to color today, I'd be like, I don't think so. I am above that. Like I draw, I paint, I don't color with crayons, but there is something to it. If you sit down and color, you immediately take your brain out of the equation. You start to play. You start to explore. You start to listen. And just by doing the act of coloring, it takes that background static noise and turns down the volume. So the volume of your intuitive self, your true self, your eternal self can come up. So that's been my process. And it felt like this beautiful gift to give to people and let them come to their own conclusions of what this spiritual sketch meant for them. Because also what I found is when the root of change, whether it's through a visual, through an emotion, through an aha moment, through something you told yourself in your head or your intuition told you, it shifts deeper. You transform more and it's lasting, right? Since we are physical and emotional and mental and spiritual and psychological beings, There are many ways that we can attack blocks, issues, hurdles, challenges, but rarely do we look at it from the energetic space. And working in this way, coloring, journaling, exploring intuitively, taps into that energetic space. Some might call it the quantum space, the field around you. And when you tap into that space, shifts happen like that. And they're deep. And something that felt so insurmountable is now quickly unwound, or at least a pathway is seen into how to navigate around it. So recently, when I first started this podcast, it was to take these spiritual sketches that I had drawn. I have a whole collection of them for someone individually. Sometimes they were for myself. Mostly they were for someone else. And they all had kind of a two-parter. Meaning there was a specific message, very specific to the person with the spiritual sketch. But then there was also like a universal message. Because when you read and see in this quantum intuitive space, whatever you want to call it, there is always, since we are all energetically one, if you believe that, I do, there is a little bit of a reflection that is something that you could use for you, a little bit of medicine in that reflection for you, even though the majority of the medicine in the spiritual sketch or spiritual message is for the other person, for the person you're reading. So I would share the universal message in this podcast, like what came through, what the image is, and how you could use this image in a universal way in your life and meditate on it. It's been a while since I've done one of those for myself or had felt compelled enough to take a visual that I saw and put it down on paper that came just from me, not from a reading. And so today I wanted to share this particular spiritual sketch appeared to me in a meditation, and the meditation was all about the shift that was coming, starting with the eclipses at the end of February to the one we just had recently at the beginning of March. And I was asking kind of where should I focus? Where should I put my attention? How do I move through this space and time and transformational world that we're living in right now, where it seems like there's a lot of chaos. Yes, there's also there's always been chaos. It does seem like there's more now, but that could also be because we're talking about it all the time and it's coming from every angle. So I'm going to share with you what I drew and what I saw. Again, spiritual sketch, not Picasso, although kind of it looks like it. So this is what I drew. And it's very interesting for me. Like when it's me drawing for me, oh man, can I get critical? Can I get perfectionistic? But it's when these spiritual sketches, I'm like, this is just, it's really, I'm in an old habit of letting my ego get involved, but there's really no ego involved in this. That is what it is. And what it is I saw this. So these blurry lines were kind of like out of focus, right? This is like blur, or these squiggly lines are representing out of focus. This circle around this image was like kind of a lens bringing into focus. And what this represents, and this is what I saw, it was like a little tree branch or a little baby tree, a new tree growing, a new tree forming. But the bottom of it was different. It didn't have roots. It looked like a neuron. And then I just couldn't help noticing that, like, if this is a tree or this is a neuron or this is, or both, or what is this? And as I sat with it, what came to me it was like build new connections, plant new pathways, find new ways of observing and moving forward. And it felt like a totally new shift. Like a new time requires a new, I don't want to say brain, but like new equipment, like you can think of it as a leveling up or just a shift, but the shift requires new equipment in order to tap into the new frequencies. And I continue to see that image in my head often. I did find a few pictures, which I'll share, of the images of a neuron and images of a tree and how similar they are, with the Hermetic principle, as within, so without. It's a beautiful representation. And now I'm even seeing, talking about this, there was an image which I'll share when they discovered, I believe it was dark matter and how dark matter connects to each other. And it looked like a series of neurons, balls of dark matter connecting to each other. So what this tells me and what I want to share with you today, and hopefully you can take this, marinate on it, explore it, tell me what you find. And if I can figure it out, I'll add this coloring page to this website too, or to the podcast, so that if you want to download it, color it, and then see what comes up, go for it. And if you do, I offer this journal prompt. What in me is asking to shift, is asking to grow anew? Where am I being asked to build, to grow? It's hard to look around at the world right now and say there is no good or bad. But once we start qualifying good and bad, we lose sight of balance and we start to attach to specific outcomes. And we lose sight of receiving and curiosity. Being open to receive, trusting in the universe, being patient with that trust, and being curious how one can balance the energies coming forward are really wonderful tools to stay connected to your intuition. And when you're connected to your intuition, you're connected to all, because that light, namaste, that light in me sees and honors that light in you. I also have another little thing I'm going to offer right now, just because I said that. I'm just going to go with it. So I have a little game for you too, because I feel like I was just getting really serious and this felt really serious. And I'm like, wow, it's serious. It's not serious. Like, intuition's fun. It's curious. It's alignment shouldn't feel heavy. It should feel light. And I felt like I was getting heavy there. So here's a fun game. If you're exploring with your intuition, you're playing with it, seeing if, where it is, how to connect to it, right? This is a fun one. Where the light inside, this is my namaste game. Feel where the light is inside you. Like, take a moment and just be like, do I feel it in my chest? Do I feel it in my brain? Do I feel it in my throat? Where do I feel light? Do I feel it everywhere? Maybe you can play with your imagination and see, if I place a ball of light in my chest, does that feel right? If it does, just feel into it. Let it go. Stop imagining and just start feeling. Now, once you found that in you, as you go throughout the day, see if you can feel where the light in someone else is in their body. Play with it. You don't tell them. I mean, it's probably best if you don't tell them. Just like, it's like a little awkward. But I mean, if you want to, if you have that kind of relationship, go for it. But just feel where their light is really shining. And then see if you can feel where your light and their light connect. Namaste. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. It's a fun, curious game of connection. Okay, that's it for this week. I have some announcements. Speaking of quantum field, which I mentioned a few times, and intuition, coming up tomorrow night, March 10th, is Jenny McFadden's workshop on quantum intuitive healing. She is an artist and author of the book, The Game of Intuition and How to Play It. She's a fabulous, fun artist energy, and she's going to be talking to us about how to use this particular tool of quantum healing that she has intuited and has been working with people. And I worked with her, and it is phenomenal at how quickly shifts can occur and how healing can take place. So that is on March 10th. It is a virtual, and you can find all the information on that on my website at magnetizeyourlight.com underneath events. You can also join us in this little creative exploration of coloring and tapping into your intuition through creativity. Intuition is potential creativity. Creativity is kinetic intuition. So when we tap into that, we really start to allow the static to go down, the intuitive voice to come up, and the alignment to get solid, to get clear. And the more you do it, the more you trust it. So Magnetize Your Light monthly meetups. We get together, we meditate on what the lunar energies are kind of guiding us through externally, right? Internally. The moon is our closest luminary and also part of creativity, part of our intuition, part of our emotions, part of all of that. So whatever the energies are, how we're receiving them, how we're feeling them, explore that in a meditation. Then we get creative. We either color or do whatever creative expression you'd like to do. Journal, prompts, we explore those, and then we share. It is a beautiful, energetic creativity pick-me-up to balance your whole self-health. That will be on Sunday, March 15th. Again, all information is on my website, magnetizeyourlight.com, under events. You can find me on all socials at Magnetize Your Light, and let me know if you try some of these practices. What do you find? What do you notice? Did it work? I'd love to hear. All right, make some magic today because you're magic. See you in a few weeks.